Okay guys, so this is part 2. This is our next box that we're opening. It's a larger box. If you want to see part 1 where we unboxed all those flats, check out our previous video. I'll put a link somewhere. This next box has more loose pieces, less flats, and I believe if you've watched our previous video, I'll talk about some of the history behind these boxes, but this one has more loose pieces and I believe some of the extra stuff that was sent to me. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this. This is just paper. I love a well-packed box, guys, but newspaper is not fun because it colors your fingers. This is, I believe, citrine. Although it looks, well, that's a smoky citrine. It is beautiful. I bought a lot of citrine, guys. I kind of stocked up, so we're going to be selling citrine for days. And this is, oh, what is this stuff? Is this chrysocolla? No, it's like a, look at that. It has some really cool druzy right in there. What was the name of this stuff? I will have to look it up, guys. It's been 1.5 years since I ordered. Ooh, witch's fingers. Check these out. I haven't seen these too much, but they are like spirit quartz, but the little micro terminations all over the surface. They have this super glittery appearance, and I love these, and I also bought a lot of them. And I don't know if they're going to sell well. They're not like a pretty color, but they're glittery. So I may have a big collection of... Ooh, did they ring? Oh my goodness. I don't want to hit them too hard, but... You hear that? That's a singer. I was just talking about that with one of the other boxes, a malachite that we unboxed. That is pretty cool. It's another little cluster. Ooh, there's a double termination in there. That's a unique piece. I love, as they're not always pretty, like a pretty clear, perfectly formed quartz point, but things like this where there's layers and different types of minerals kind of melded together. I love that kind of stuff. Ooh, oh dear, a very little one. More of these little quartz witches, baby witches' fingers. Another one. Oh, that one's really sparkly. Some of these are going to be fun to take pictures of. That is cool. That reminds me a lot of a candle quartz, I believe. It's like covered in a white secondary growth layer. That's a cool one. Look at that. Maybe I'll experiment because I wonder what would happen if I put these in. A lot of times to get the yellow and the hematite iron off of crystals, if you put it in acid, vinegar, or hydrochloric acid, it'll actually clean the iron off but leave the crystal behind. So I might, it seems I have a lot of these, so I might, this one's kind of a singer too. I might, yeah, look, right from the mines, there's still dirt on it and leaves. That's cool. I might experiment with these and put them in some acid and see what happens. Maybe they'll be beautiful. Or it will take off all of these layers. That's a pretty one. I have a piece like this from New Hampshire, actually. It's pure white, but the way the secondary growth is on there looks very similar to me. Okay, I have a lot of these. We're going to go a little bit faster. I think a lot of these are... Oh, here's a loose one in the box. Most of these sing, you guys. I love long quartz points. There's something about a long quartz point that just does it for me. I bet these would look really pretty if they're cleaned up. What do you think? Should I put one in acid? If I do, I will post a video or an update of some kind about it at some point. Yeah, that, I bet you that would be like a pure white color once it was cleaned up. A lot of these are uncleaned, or all of these are uncleaned. Like they kind of brush them off, but that's what a lot of minerals are like. Oh, this one, I remember this one. I asked for this one specifically because it has like this starburst of quartz in the middle. Isn't that cool? Some pretty long ones for the size. This is another one I might be tempted to keep for myself. We'll see. Yeah, these are all uncleaned. I'm just gonna kind of, the whole box is not these little witch's fingers, I promise. But here are more. That one's cool. Ooh, look at that. Like piece. Another singer. Lots of singer. Ooh, I almost threw one away. There we go. That was in the paper. Oh, newspaper. Not a fan. Good to recycle though. And newspaper is biodegradable, so that's good, I guess, right? Not plastic, bubble wrap. It's gonna be wasteful. Actually, I would reuse it if it was bubble wrap. I'm not sure I'm gonna reuse the newspapers. I have a lot of paper from other orders, and it's much nicer. So, all right, more spirit quartz. You guys are probably, or not spirit quartz, witch's fingers. You guys are gonna be tired. Stuff's tired of seeing. Look at that, and it's got little terminations on the bottom. Okay, let's see. Oh, another singer. Did you hear that? I don't know what this price tag came off of, but it's here on the table. It says $3.50. This is South African rand, and I don't know. Ooh, look at that. Looks like it broke and healed. Not a singer. I am going to put one of these in acid. I bet this would be beautiful. I mean, it is beautiful, but I betcha it would be like white or something. Wouldn't that be cool? What was I saying? I get so distracted. Oh, South African rand. I'm not as super familiar with the money structure they have, but it seems that however they do it, the number is like much higher than the dollar translates to. That doesn't mean it's like, I don't know what it means. If you guys are familiar, maybe, there's a singer down here. Can you hear it? These two. Aren't those cool? These little ones don't sing. Alright. More. Okay, I might fast forward through some of this, you guys. We're going to get tired of seeing these. Maybe I'll, oops, throw him. Poor little guy. He's okay. Some of these small pieces, maybe I'll start putting as little freebies in orders. That one's kind of cool. Ooh, this is a big one. Is it also witch's fingers? Yes, it is. Got a lot of these, you guys. I will be... That's a singer. Okay. Taking a while. I apologize. Ooh, look at that. This is slightly different. Or maybe it just looks cleaner. I bet you it would look more like this white here. Oh, goody, something else. I believe these are blue lace agate. Aren't they pretty? That is such a beautiful, it's lighter and brighter and softer than a typical agate. Like the agates you normally see, like from Madagascar and stuff, and regular agates, they're more like a grayish blue. These are more of a light but brighter blue. More of these guys. This is gonna bug me why I can't think of the name. I will put it on the screen. Ooh, those are little bitty dendrites. I don't think you probably can't see those, can you? Little bitty dendrites all over the face of this. So it grows in like these layers. It's probably chrysocolla. Is this it's not chrysocolla, is it? That's a pretty dendrite right there. Like I said, normally I do Brazilian materials. That's a pretty one. So forgive me that the name is not, ooh, look at that. Look, there's like a spider web in there. Is there like an invasive spider species that I'm importing from Africa? I don't see one. If he actually survived this journey, I would be very surprised. Ooh, yes. I believe this is Orange River quartz. There's also just some regular orange hematite quartz, but there's a lot of Orange River in here. That's another collector's location. This looks like this is probably most everything that the seller had left. Isn't that beautiful, that shimmer? Yes, that is more malachite. Some quartz over the top. Beautiful. We have some boxes under here. Ah, yes. What is this pink stuff called? Cobaltocalcite. Yes, and look at that. That's the biggest one I think I've had so far. Cobaltocalcite. Now I just need to remember what that blue sparkly material is. We have more of it. Look at those dendrites. Oh my goodness. Let's get some of these. More. That's so exciting, you guys. More witch's fingers. I love them. You guys are probably sick of seeing them. That means we're going to have a lot of them on the website too. One of the things I would like to do, I've said this before, but just as another reminder, we have, since we've moved, this is really cool. That's got some cobaltocalcite, white mineral. One of the things, since we're house hunting, one thing that I would really like to find, I mean, you kind of get what you get. Oh, there's calcite in this one. Look at that. That is cool. That is so cool. One of the things I would like to find in a home is a place that has a space for a crystal shop. Because this is kind of taking over our house and our life, and so it needs its own space, whether that's its own room or like a garage I could convert into a shop. I'm not sure. But that's kind of a mild wish list item. I mean, when you're looking for a place to live, you can't base it all off of the fact that there's a crystal shop there. That is spirit quartz. So this is different than the witch's fingers. You can see these are longer quartz points with a finer druzy coating. These have more like secondary. I believe I read once that these have like 3 stages of growth. There's like an initial crystal in here, and then these little ones, and I don't remember what the third is, but where are the, I don't think we have any other friends out. Okay. Anyway, it's kind of cool how they form. Alright, I'm running out of table space. Let me move some of this. You can't base your home buying decisions necessarily off of the fact that there's a crystal shop space, but it's kind of something I'm keeping an eye out on for, and it would be a blessing if we found something. Sorry, bear with me just a second. Isn't that one cool? I love that. This one might end up in my collection too, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just going to move these just a little bit. Oh look, I have all this space up here. Why am I not using it? Okay. Cobaltocalcite. That's what you are. Spirit quartz. Okay, what's in here? Ah, wrap stuff. Alright. But I've been wanting to get African minerals for a long time. There's a lot of beautiful things that come from this country. And since purchasing from this seller, I have found, oh no, the malachite has dropped. Now it's way under the table. Ugh, hold on. Since I found this seller, oh here it is. I have found where they got their stuff from. So this is another thing, if you're a shop owner, to keep an eye, to be mindful of. A lot of wholesalers are actually re-wholesalers. They buy their stuff from an actual wholesaler, but they resell the bulk items. They like double the price on them and then sell them as they are wholesale. They're kind of wholesaling, but you're not getting the lowest price. And this was the case here. I got a lot of stuff on a really good price, so I think I'll still be able to sell them competitively, but it's something I've learned in this industry. Oh, that's a shame that broke. In this industry, there's a lot of re-wholesalers. So a lot of times the buzzwords you'll hear are like ethically sourced, you know, to justify high prices. I know where these came from now that I've kind of researched and been around a little bit. So this looks like it's all malachite, so I'm just going to put these all back. Ooh, but what's this one? A bowl! More than one bowl. I know where these come from, and they are ethically sourced, but you don't necessarily have to pay 2 to 3 times what actual wholesale is to get ethically sourced crystals. That is like copper around the edge. That is cool. Very well done. Okay, there's 3. These are all the same. I'm going to stick them back in here. So that's a little trick. If you're buying from a wholesaler, and you can't compete with your competitors. Okay guys, we're back. Sorry about that. The battery died, but we're back now. I don't know exactly what I was saying when the battery died, but it was about re-wholesalers. So basically, the whole point of my trying to explain is if you see sellers that are like selling things for very high prices, and I can't remember, did we look into this box? More spirit quartz. Sometimes it's because of price gouging, because that does happen. Certainly does happen. More Orange River. Or maybe this is just, I'll have to look and see where this one's from. I think it's Orange River though. Almost looks like I could fit together right there. Hold on. Wow, I think we found a match. Look at that. There's a little bit missing in the middle. I don't know if you saw any of that. These fit together. They're wrapped separately, so it broke a while ago. Or at some point. There's a hole in the middle there, but that's cool. Price gouging happens, but some shop owners just don't know, maybe they know, I don't know, don't get their crystals from actual wholesalers, like straight from the miners' wholesalers. They get them from re-wholesalers. And of course the re-wholesalers say that theirs are straight from the mines because they're getting them from places that get them from the mines. So anyway, it's just kind of a mess, and there's not really any regulation or standard. Look at, that's cool. You can see how those different layers, there's the main crystal that came through. Actually, that looks thinner than the one up here. So maybe it's a thinner layer, but anyway, then the little offshoots, that kind of secondary or tertiary growth, I can't remember. That's cool. These are unclean, so I'm gonna have to clean these to make them a little bit nicer looking. So anyway, if you're a seller out there and you can't seem to compete, or if you find people that are selling things for really cheap, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's unethical sourcing, because some crystals really aren't that expensive unless you're getting them from like American, like for some reason American rock hounds charge. This one is beautiful. When this is cleaned up, this is going to be amazing. American, like people that go dig for crystals, they're going to charge a lot of money because we have a high standard of living here. But there's organizations in other countries that mine for crystals, and they do it by bulk, and they're set up to do it, like big organizations that do this. And ooh, look at that one. They can do it a lot more cost effectively than people with a shovel and a pick. So it's a little bit different. It doesn't mean it's not necessarily ethical in all cases. You do have to be mindful. There are some countries that use like child labor and other unethical practices, and I did a blog post about that. There's actually an American organization that kind of has categorized products that are from places that use child labor. And there are some in Africa. I don't believe this. I know where these came from. The original source of these, and they do not do that. So these ones are good. They come from a lot of small miners in villages around South Africa. But like, for example, there's a lot of like diamonds, garnets in some countries, things like that. There are unethical practices out there. But you can't tell necessarily by price, because where a seller gets the crystal is going to depend a lot, is going to affect the price. Anyway. And that's kind of going to be a trade secret, guys. I'm not going to spill the beans where I get mine from, because I did my research. There's a lot of people that say, oh, well, you should share it, should be an open book, and in a way, I can understand, because you want, ooh, look at these. Okay. Because you want some transparency. Look at these. I bet you there's some anhydrous in here. I'm going to have to go through all of these, and I can't remember. I'm going to have to find out where these are from. It's not a bubble, but I think it's a rainbow. But a lot of these are scepters. And I saw in a shop once, a local shop that I went to in a state we lived in previously, that called some weird broken piece of quartz a scepter, and it was not. So I run into less of that online, but a scepter, this one's very clear. You can see there's an original quartz point down under here, and then a secondary, this fat bulbous end is a secondary point that kind of grows over it. You see it a lot in celestial quartz, but this is a scepter. Whatever that broken thing was not a scepter. What's a good one? This is a beautiful one. This looks very, I believe it's a scepter. Celestials, you'll see a lot of scepters. This one is very celestial-like in its growth. I don't believe they call it celestials. Like when quartz and stuff comes out of like Africa, for example, I think Colorado or here in Maine, there's crystals that people dig, and they're celestials. And if it came from like Brazil, people would call it an celestial, but they don't call that here, or from Africa. Some other places they call it, I don't know what, they just call it regular names. Anyway, those are pretty. I have to go back through the notes. Chiredzi, I think it's I don't know how to say the name. Chiredzi amethyst, I believe. Does that sound about right? Okay, what's in this one? Anyway, enough of my, this is more citrine. At least this piece is. What else do we have in here? Yes, ooh, look at that piece. Needs to be cleaned. This is uncleaned, I believe. I did get some that's cleaned and uncleaned. Uncleaned is cheaper because you have to clean it yourself. I might just skip through some of these. I don't want to unwrap every single one, but look at that one. That would be a good display piece. It just kind of sits perfectly. You can see this, right? Yes, okay. I love how these come in these little flats. It's going to make it easy to store. Have to wrap them up a little bit better. Ooh, look at that one. That's cute. Kundalini. Okay, we're going to just put these back in here. They'll be kind of fine. I'm just going to be stacking them. Alrighty. And it looks like we're down to the final two. What is in here? Oh, wow. A lot of spirit quartz and witch's fingers. See the difference? These are cleaned. This is probably what these guys would look like when they're clean. See how these are kind of, there's a lot of hematite and dirt in the soils, and this one, isn't that pretty? I'd like to think that's what this is going to look like. A lot of sparkly, isn't that cute? Itty bitty little witch's fingers. And spirit quartz. Amethyst. Is it spirit quartz or spirit amethyst? That's pretty. I think spirit quartz is normally the amethyst color, isn't it? And the more rare color is the light color. Is that how it goes? I'm going to have to do a little research. I haven't really had much spirit quartz in the shop, so this is newer. to me. Yeah, I think these are smaller versions of the witch's fingers. They're pretty, they glitter. Okay, that's this one. And the last box. I think this is the purpurite. And there's no purpurite in here. That must be a wrong label. There's some kyanite. And this is pyrite. Some big pyrite cubes. Ooh, that's pretty. And some hematite quartz. That's really pretty. That looks a lot like black tourmaline. That piece has seen better days. Look at that beautiful piece. All right, that's it for today. There's my helper. Yeah, we're in the garage, Bella. There's my helper. Look what Mommy's been doing. Unboxing.
Mom, a crystal.
Yeah, they're crystals.
The big one.
The big one. Okay, everyone, so that's it. That's the 2 boxes we had to go through. There's a lot of the things you can see from the singly wrapped items and a lot of flats that we're going to be going through. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.